This episode is brought to you by our friends at Willow Window, your go-to experts for replacement windows, window treatments, and doors. They don't just install, they elevate. With a focus on honesty, professionalism, and top-tier quality, their team is committed to making your home more beautiful than ever. From clean job sites to precision craftsmanship, they treat your home like it's their own. Looking for a transformation you can trust? Visit www.willowwindow.pro and see the difference that true care makes. Welcome to the Runner Dudes podcast. Everyone is welcome. Runners are welcome. Walkers are welcome. The running curious are welcome. We're going to widen the door to running and soften the impact for anyone willing to lace up and show up. Today can be the day you take the first steps towards physical, mental, and spiritual well-being and become the person you are intended to be. We hope to inform, inspire, listen, learn, and help you start your own running journey, all while being moderately funny and low-key entertaining. Let's go, baby. Dusty, we've got some good news. Jimmy, Dusty, we got good news, we got bad news.
Let's hear the bad first.
Bad news is just us, no guests. So we're going to do our very drop-dead best to carry an episode. We've not had to do this for a long time without leaning on a guest. I feel like, Dusty, we haven't heard a lot from you because you're literally like the color man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, like when we have a guest, I feel like it's me blathering on, and then the guest will answer, and then you'll drop a little witty something here and there.
Everybody's got a role, man.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. That's just what you do.
You've been killing it, but this is going to be fun to kind of have you back in focus a little bit. We just talked to the man himself, came in, graced us with his presence, the owner of Willow Window Studios.
The man.
So we want to give a shout out to John and Willow Window Studios.
Thanks, man. We really appreciate everything that you're allowing us to do in here.
I'm trying to sell these Willow windows myself. Like, I'm wondering if I can get a commission on a sale because them babies ain't cheap.
Maybe he could help you out in some way.
Yeah, maybe we could get some sort of commission or a finder's fee.
There it is.
Yeah. So, John, let's talk about that. Maybe the next deal. If they mention Runners Dudes podcast, we get $2,500 or something.
Holy cow.
That's nice. Is that the good news?
Yeah, don't act like he ain't got it. John's got it.
That's the good news. Really.
I love spending other people's money. It's what I'm best at. And we got Express Footwear.
Yeah, Express Footwear and Running.
Jimmy?
Sight and Sound Creative.
1s and 2s. Where are you located?
1430 Interstate Drive. Thanks to all the customers, business has been booming, of course, because I'm sure the warm weather, but it stayed super consistent.
Yeah.
Always had the greatest folks coming in all the time.
So you've turned that place into a legit running centric store.
I feel like it. I mean, I had a vision of what I wanted to do with it. Some small changes. It was already, customer base was already kind of somewhat established.
Yeah.
But I have people that come in there I at least have 20, 25 customers that come in new every week that had no idea.
Yeah.
That we're there.
I've been in so many different, like, they're supposed to be running stores, and even as a newer runner. And, of course, it's like anywhere nowadays. Like, you know, I remember a time when you go into, you guys do too, I'm sure, Kmart, and the guy in sporting goods knew about the sporting goods.
Yeah, he just got through putting up a couple of cases of 9mm bullets, and he's over there helping you get you. He's pulling out that brand and sizing you up.
Yes, knew what he was doing. The guy the one man or woman who was in hardware or wherever knew their department.
Yeah.
And so when you go into a runner specific store, you think you're going to get that expertise, and so often you end up with some kid who's on Instagram or whatever the kids are on, the Snappies and the Tiki Talkies or whatever, and could care less. And so it's so nice to have we have a local running store that everyone that works there knows running.
I know I've said this a million times, and you can talk to all the people that work for me too. I'm really big on customer service.
Yes.
Hands-on.
Yes. That's going away.
If you don't have that, then
what do you got?
It doesn't matter what you got. It's funny. I pay attention to anywhere I go. I don't really go. I mean, I've been to a couple of other running stores just to see what's going on. I always go see Lee at Nashville Running Company just because I know a lot of folks down there. But anywhere I go, I see one. And I always pay attention to how they treat their customers.
Yeah.
And I will brag on most of everyone that I have, and we really take care of the customers really good.
That's it.
You don't.
They're paying your rent.
I have a big pet peeve when you go to fit some with a shoe that somebody says, okay, first of all, that's just habit sometimes. Hey, what size shoe do you wear? Because you always want to get a gauge. But when you just come out and take the box and say, here you go.
Right.
I mean,
an order taker.
Yeah, we're not working off of commission or anything like that. It's not going to cost anything extra, but to take the time and take the shoe out of the box, help a person get it on. They really appreciate that. That's what will make them come back more and more.
Yes.
And I always tell them, I'm like, listen, I'm not here to sell you a shoe or the latest and greatest because it may not fit you. I'd rather see you leave with nothing instead of purchasing the wrong shoe.
So, and that's the reason people come back, dude. I got to brag on CG. She doesn't tell anybody. She's not going to lie to somebody. If somebody comes out of the dressing room and that ain't some different body types, this doesn't fit you that great, she'll tell you, oh, that ain't for you, sis, and let's try something else.
Right.
And so people have that confidence in her that when they go there, that's what they're going to get is customer service. My grandfather and my dad both, my grandfather sold Fords for 50 years, and my dad sold tires, still sells tires. And he said, they're here. They want to spend their money. They wouldn't be here if they didn't want to spend their money. They have come to your establishment to spend money. Wait on them.
Right.
And so that's cool to have that at Express Footwear. That's what you get. You get some knowledge, service, and I think that's what keeps everybody coming back. We put the Exceptional Bean has a shop in the hospital now.
Yeah.
Bro, your shoes are all over the hospital, bro.
Yeah. Hospital employees have been great.
Yeah.
A lot of repeat customers there for sure. They're really good people.
A lot of crossover between nurses and runners.
Yeah, right. And
on their feet, moving around.
They need very important for them. They don't need a fast plated shoe. They need something with some sustainable cushion, and some support in their feet. So yeah, hospital has been a big time supporter. And I'm very, very appreciative and thankful for that, for sure.
It's funny to see there are some of the younger nurses that I have noticed have on like Dunks or Jordans. And I'm like, she clearly doesn't, care about her feet at all. And I feel like it kind of says that, if I have a nurse that has on Dunks, I'm like, she doesn't care about my life, honestly.
Yeah. Do I really trust what she's saying with a pair of Panda Dunks on right now?
Yes. No, if you got on a pair of Pandas, bro, I'm checking out.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, we're done. So anyway.
Today's episode is sponsored by Express Footwear, the healthy feet store that's all about the perfect fit. Whether you're hitting the trails, pounding the pavement, or just looking for all-day comfort, Express Footwear has you covered with a great selection of athletic shoes, walking shoes, hiking boots, and even recovery sandals. They don't just sell shoes, they help you find the right shoes for your feet. Visit Express Footwear and step into comfort's day. You can find them online at express-footwear-running.square.site. I've always kind of wanted to know how you got into the business in the first place.
I've always had kind of this interest as far as running shoes when I first started running, because the reason being I paid really, really like zero attention to my feet, the health of my feet, or the shoes. I didn't care. First pair of running shoes I probably had about 2,500 miles on them. I ran them ragged. You didn't care.
Forrest Gumped them.
Yeah, just let them rip.
I was a running.
Well, so then I started kind of really paying attention to the certain specifications in shoes, how they're made, how they fit, the cushion from the heel, the cushion in the midfoot, the drop, all the things. And then I was fortunate enough I worked a little bit with Brian at running, Foothills Running.
Yeah.
With some things. He always was really good to sponsor for races and things.
Right.
And in order just to kind of keep you in shoes or give you a little bit of discount in shoes. Then when he kind of decided to get out of the business, I learned a lot from him. And then I knew Randy and Karen Dunn, who owned Express Footwear. And when I first started shopping, they had the really good shoes that you learn about. Brooks was a big name. New Balance, Saucony, a lot of the big names. Mizuno, they had a lot of those shoes starting out because it wasn't that medical footwear store. So kind of started getting in with them, doing the same thing. And then ever since then, man, I've just really paid attention to the different style shoes. I've tried a lot of different shoes. And, now that kind of led to that. being a runner as well. I mean, I wasn't always just running specific. I've done a lot of other things, but always gravitated more towards running.
Yeah.
Just overall foot health.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people with some really, really bad or chronic foot issues that are on it. Like, just like John said, hey, a solid pair of inserts and a good shoe,
Yes.
you know, and it's funny to say that, but it changes your life. It really does, but because it changes everything.
Yes. No, I joke all the time about the only way that I have found that I can wear my Jordans is the insert that you sold me.
Yeah.
I was wearing a pair of Jordans at the coffee shop one day, and like Kaylin was talking about, my feet were throbbing.
Yeah.
And especially my left foot. And I was dealing with some plantar fasciitis. And I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a runner, and here I am standing on my feet on this concrete floor in these stupid Jordan 4s, which, by the way, the worst on earth anyway. But you sold me that insert.
And those type of
Game changer.
Those type of issues that you have with your feet and with your body, man, that just kind of, I really started to research and find out information and why that comes. Because when you have plantar fasciitis, you feel like a lot of really good cushion is going to do the trick.
It's the opposite.
It's just the opposite.
Yeah, yes.
And everybody thinks,
I just need something smushy.
yeah, I need a big marshmallow.
No,
know,
you need
soft.
something to support that arch.
Right. You got to have something that supports the actual movement of your foot.
I will tell you, the arch support that I got, it essentially, I mean, it for all intents and purposes cleared my plantar fasciitis up, bro.
And it will.
It cleared it right up. That was great. We got off in the deep end of the pool there about the shoes, but that was good.
That's what we do.
That was good. Maybe we don't need guests to carry the show. We're back. We're back. We're back, baby.
And then with the back up on I-40.
Hey, we're back. So, question to Dusty.
Yep.
This is a good one. Who goes harder, new runners or experienced runners?
Well, I will say probably, I'm going to say experienced runners will, I think, because they reach a point, and I'm going to find this here in a second.
I'm talking about percentage of what they can do.
I still think, just my personal opinion, that it's going to be your experienced runners. I think new runners.
Really?
I think so, because I think if you're a really brand new runner, you're still trying to find your footing. Now, it's fun because you do want to go fast, but I still think there is a point to where you can run really, really fast for a short period of time.
Yes.
And then you have to, if you do it right, because most of the time they'll either do too much and then they quit. But I think very experienced seasoned runners, they get to a point to where, hey, they get comfortable, and then you get a lot of people, you get a lot of eyes on you, and then they want to go very, very hard and do probably more than what they should. So I say,
Okay, interesting take.
I say experience just because I've been there. I think.
Yeah. You ruined the episode, Dusty, because that was not the answer I was.
Experienced runners
I'm kidding, bro.
they have something that you're trying to aim for.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think that will then maybe give that to them versus your new runner.
Yes, that is I'm kidding, by the way. Yeah, that's a very valid answer, and you're right. And that but with runners that I coach, I've got like 3 or 4 very new novice runners right now.
But they're super eager to go.
Oh, bro, that's my point, is that they are ready to rock and roll. And so, like, I'm like the first interview, I'm like, so how many miles are you currently running? And they're like, oh, I don't know, like 3 a week. And I'm like, that's fine. That's cool. I'll send them their first plan, and it'll have some run, walk in it. And then like maybe 4 miles. And they're like, I thought we'd be doing more miles than this week. Well, why did you think that? Like we can't.
Are we walking? I mean, walking here. What are we
Yes.
doing?
And so that is what leads us into what I would like to talk about today, is that we've discussed this in previous episodes, and I think that it is important for the point of this running podcast, which is about mental, physical, and spiritual health, and we talked about it a little bit with Caitlin in the last episode. Life is already difficult. You've got any number of things that you get the kids, get Merrick here, do this, pick this up for my wife, run this business. Jimmy, same thing. We've all got enough going on in our life that we don't need to add another thing that is
I think a lot of what we do is very self-inflicted, though. We cram a lot of stuff. I'm finding this out right now just because we are with my son, we had all the things here. Now it's reaching the point to where we're really sifting through all that and we're finding like one thing. And let me tell you something, man, it's like complete freedom.
Talking about like you simplify, we're not doing as much.
Yeah.
We're figuring out what's important.
It has.
What he enjoys the most.
It's been like this huge weight. And it's been on him too. I can see it. I can see it in the way he acts. And this is kind of going off. It is kind of what we're talking about, but a little bit more. You know, I've asked him to come up with a list like for summer, because this time his summer is not going to be completely just jam packed with ball tournaments, practice. We've cut out a whole lot. So
24 hours in each day.
Yeah, I mean,
what are we doing?
Him, I'm like, hey, listen, bud, this is what you need to do. I said, let's come up with a list of some things you'd like to do this summer that you have not in the last 11 years honestly had time to do. And it's been very simple, man. Hey, I want to ride some bikes. I want to go do some simple stuff.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of what we do as a runner and just as people in general now, everything is, we just want to take a dump truck load of stuff and pretend like we can take care of all of it.
Right.
And it's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. Well, and that's in the beginning of the podcast, the intro, we talk about widening the door to running. And I think that is the most important thing. It's the one thing that I try to, I bludgeon my runners over the head with, is go slow. And if you find yourself not having a fun time, you're going too fast, and slow down. And because, like you said, running is supposed to help you. No matter how busy I am, when I can fit a run into my day, it makes everything, it turns the volume down on everything else. It makes everything else kind of fall into place. Don't you agree? Go ahead.
So I'm going to share this real quick before I forget. In our upcoming Road Runners little text thread, Angie shared this the other day, Angie Briggs. I don't know if I can credit her with the quote, but she's quoted this on here, and it says, getting older, slower, and less competitive as a runner is a weird mix of humbling ego blow and absolutely glorious freedom.
Yeah, okay. Let's go.
I like that, man. I think that's
yes.
I think that's some good words to live by, just for a lot of things, but running specific too, because
I have found anybody that feels like gravitates towards running, the one thing that they have in common is there's ego. And they are competitive in some way, and so they are. They want to go fast.
Right.
And what happens? They see Dusty, or they see Blake Shearer, or they see Angie, or they see me running fast and running these times. Well, they want to do that now. And so I'm just like, that's not possible. You know, I didn't get here. You know, I used to think if anybody showed up at a race and they were faster than me, I thought, well, they just showed up like that.
Yeah.
But no, they've got 7, 8, 9, 10 years of doing this consistently and building and all these things. And so it's very important to remember to go slow.
The Runner Dude Coaching and Consulting. With over 10 years of experience, Michael England is the running coach you've been looking for. He's not only passionate about you and your running journey, but also about you as a person. For Michael, running has not only helped him get into the best shape of his life, but has been a vital tool in maintaining sobriety, mental health, and spiritual health. You can experience this as well, and the Runner Dude can help. Follow Michael on Instagram at the Runner Dude Cookeville and send him a DM that you're ready to become a runner.
It is summer. When this airs, it's going to be, you said, is it 4th of July?
Yeah, it's 4th of July today.
It's 4th of July today.
How about that? Happy 4th of July.
Good luck with all.
A little patriotic here, and we didn't.
We need to do put it in reverse, Terry. Back it up, Terry.
Back it up, Terry.
Back it up, Terry.
Yeah.
So, Terry.
I'll throw that clip in there.
Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. What you doing, Terry? Terry,
Every single year, I laugh until I can't breathe at that clip.
It's a unbelievable clip.
It might be like the most viewed YouTube video ever.
Yes.
Good stuff.
No, so if you're listening to this on the 4th of July,
good luck with your thing.
You'd be at a parade.
Yeah, that's right. What are you listening to us for, you loser?
And we can cut this, but it goes with what Dusty was saying. We went camping recently, and it's about 8:15, and I made a fire, and we're just sitting there. staring at the fire, and I probably stared at the fire for an hour. And I was just, and then my wife, we were camping with friends, so everyone was kind of all over the place. My wife comes back, and I was like, sometimes I beat myself up at night because I just, want to rest or watch a television show, and, shouldn't that be more productive? And it's like, back in the day, you were limited by light. And I don't think our forefathers were ever kicking their behinds being like, stared at the fire too long tonight. Yes. It's like, no, you're meant to like stop at a certain point. But now with technology, and back to running, you can run in lit areas of all times of the day. It's like there's no limit to how productive you can be except for your own self-control.
Yes.
And I think that's true of just of not only in this athlete conversation, but just as a person.
Yes.
It's like you have to recognize your own limits and realize that you were created and designed to work within a rhythm of rhythm and rest.
Yes.
Work and rest, yeah.
Yes. There was a guy on a reel the other day talked about he goes for a long run when he starts to care too much. He used language I'm not going to use, but he said when he starts to care about the stuff that he shouldn't care about, he notices he's caring about stuff he shouldn't care about. He goes for a long run, then he doesn't care about the stuff that he shouldn't care. And running has done that for me because, listen, we all have bills to pay and you've got all this stuff. I saw another quote. It talked about everybody's got 1,000 problems until you have a health problem, and then you got one problem.
Yeah.
And then you got one problem. And so all of this stuff we get so wrapped up about mortgages or making this money or retirement or this. Bro, we are on a rock hurtling through space.
Zoom out.
The comedian. Zoom out. None of this matters, bro. And so like the healthiest of us are going to live to be 100. And so like I'm 45. I mean, I can hope for another 40 years. That's all I got. And so stop making everything so like, bro, you don't have to go so hard at everything all the time. And these things, these phones that I'm holding up now, are what tell us you're failing every second of every day. And so I have gotten better at ignoring that. I'm not perfect at it, but there are so many things. Making coffee in a coffee shop now, bro, is about the level of responsibility that I am looking for the rest of my life. Yeah. Now, am I going to get rich at it or have a boat somewhere? No, I don't want that boat. I cannot drive a boat.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking for as chill a life as I can get. And if running can provide that. I don't even know where we got to here. I have no idea. I feel like I'm preaching.
What are we doing?
Sorry, I'm yelling at you on the 4th of July of all days. And so, for real, it is.
Time Michael yelled at him.
Listen, there's only 10 people listening. It's kind of like Harry Doyle. Nobody's listening anyway. But here's the thing. I'm giving you permission in the summer.
Yeah.
It's 1,000,000 degrees today.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Like you're allowed to go slow. Dusty, what have you learned about, adjusted pace in the summer? Like there's rules about this. Every 10 degrees, it's going to be that much more difficult.
It's going to be that much more difficult. If you are, let's just say you are an 8:30 minute mile guy, I mean, you probably need to back off to about a 9:30, in the summertime.
Yes.
I feel like, because chances are most people, when they're going to run in the summer, is either going to be of 2 times of the day, most of the time, or more properly. Your morning.
That's right.
Which you've just come off of sleep. You're probably not properly hydrated already, so you're going to start just being depleted
You're right.
already.
You're starting at a deficit.
Or you're probably going to spend all day working, doing something, and you're not going to be, your nutrition levels and your hydration's not going to be where they're at. You're going to run either midday or after work, and then it's going to be smoking hot.
Smoking hot.
So, I mean, that's tough. I mean, you got to prepare yourself for stuff like that.
Yes.
It's always like that. You got to hydrate yourself. But for sure, I think you really need to pay attention to that.
I've read as much as every 10 degrees, 30 seconds.
I think most important in heat, you need to pay attention to your heart rate versus pace. Because your heart rate is going to definitely project what kind of effort you're putting out. So if you are, and it'll tell you, like I said, if you're an 8:30 guy, and in the wintertime you're 8:30, you're
easy breezy.
You're zone 2 in it. But all of a sudden in the summertime you're 8:30, you're
struggle bus.
You're anaerobic.
Fighting for your life.
That should tell you something.
Yes.
Not necessarily that you're losing fitness, but hey,
No.
let's recalibrate here.
Well, in my younger runner days, that would have. So that's what I wrote here. I said yesterday I was on a run, and Travis had prescribed 6 threshold miles at a 7-minute mile. Well, okay. In the spring, fall, or winter, when it's 0 humidity, a 7-minute mile. This is not a humble brag here, trying to be, let's look at me, but a 7-minute mile is not a difficult mile for me to run.
Right.
I was fighting for my life yesterday.
Yeah.
And but I knew with my experience that, hey, man, it's okay to struggle today. It was hot. It was humid. I had been on my feet at the coffee shop all day. Yeah. And so I just knew that that's where I was yesterday.
Not to be super technical or anybody's got to pay attention to that, but once you start looking at that VO2 max, your VDOT scores and things like that, if you really geek out on stuff like that, that can put your training or your runs into perspective, what you want, because that can.
Yes.
I mean, you go out here and try to burn up a 7-minute mile right now.
Just toast.
I mean, a person could just absolutely collapse. You could be the most healthy person on earth, and then just all of a sudden, boom.
When they ran the Olympics in Japan, they had that race, and they was literally professional. They were dropping like flies.
Dropping like flies, yes.
And so, give yourself a break. At all 365 days a year, give yourself a break. But goodness gracious, in the Southeast, in the summer, forget pace.
Yeah.
You need to go out there and run at a pace that you enjoy.
I know this is a running podcast that we started here, but I will tell you this, what I found in the past, and I gave it up for a long time, is I was a pretty avid cyclist and liked to ride bikes a lot. I quit for several years just because it took up a lot of time. But now I have kind of picked that back up a little bit over the last little bit. And as far as overall fitness, health, and your effort to monitor your efforts, and when it starts getting hot, I have never been, as far as overall fitness, way better fitness, doing some cross training that way.
Yeah. It's a good time of year to pick up a bike ride.
It is. And not necessarily, you don't have to go out and just absolutely kill it, but if you go out and ride for an hour, I mean, you're still, you're working different things, and it's a little bit cooler. It's not as hot.
Well, and also that's true. Cross training is important. Again, 365 days a year, but during the summer, it just gives you a break from just pounding the pavement.
Yeah.
Because like you said, in the evening, you're getting it from the sun, and the pavement's 140 degrees.
Yeah.
And I also feel like nobody wants to start where they are. That was tough for me, because I had just come off of 20 years of heaters, smoking cigs, and counting Marlboro points, which, by the way, we got to start getting some Marlboro gear in here. Maybe we can get a sponsorship of Marlboro. But anyway,
I can look back and see. I'm pretty sure I got that. We can display some.
I have no idea what this episode is about. By the way, I feel like smoking cigs. Listen, kids, this is a disclaimer. Don't anybody go do it. But I feel like 20 years of resistance training in my lungs with them heaters, Marlboro heaters.
That's what maybe benefited me.
Somebody benefited me. That's what's made me who I am. But I feel like nobody wants, and I didn't. I wanted to. It was tough for me to swallow that my 65-year-old dad was faster than me when I started. And so that's where I was. And so just be patient and allow yourself to develop and get better and get stronger at this. It doesn't have to happen all at once. And I'm gonna tell you, here's another. Are you ready for this? Everybody got to hold on to their hats. You can walk.
Yeah.
You're not going to be, it's not going to be the end of the world if you need to walk to start out, and so I tell so many I think people think they get a run coach that they're just going to go out and start busting out 5Ks every day at a dead sprint. I'm like, I will send a plan and it'll have walking in it, and I know when I send it, I'm getting either a text or a phone call like,
what?
Are you sure I'm supposed to be? I'm absolutely positive you're supposed to be walking.
I walk my dog all the time. Yeah, that's great. You can do that. Or, walking's great.
Me and CG and Styles go for a walk every evening, and we enjoy it. And walking is a time on feet.
Yep.
It counts. It is activity. It is exercise. And so it is a wonderful place to start.
I would say probably most medical professionals would tell you walking's probably better for you than running.
There's a lot of studies and a lot of things I've read that said exactly that. I tell people all the time, like, training for a marathon probably isn't the smartest thing in the world. It does a lot of it's hard on the body.
Yeah.
But going out and consistently walking every day busting out a jog here and there is the way to go. Guys, remember, I think the most important, if we take nothing away from whatever this was today, because we've been all over the place, Express Footwear is a wonderful shoe store.
Man, yeah.
Don't beat yourself up for staring at the campfire.
Stare at it. Yeah.
Just stare at it.
It gets dark at night.
Because nothing matters.
Yeah, everything's meaningless.
Everything is meaningless.
Nothing from this podcast.
Nothing matters.
Everything is meaningless.
But not in a bad way, not in a dystopian way, in a, man, it's going to be okay way.
It's going to be all right.
You know, and I had this thought the other day, me and CG, you know, you get to looking at stuff and maybe sometimes the math ain't mathing. And I'm just like, it hit me. I was like, babe, because I've just celebrated 10 years sobriety. And so I survived all of those blackout drunk days, bro. Why in the world do I have such a lack of faith that I think that on a day when I have my wits about me and I'm trying to be the best version of me, that I'm not going to survive this day? You are. So just keep showing up. Keep lacing up. Yeah. And that is the win. That's the goal every day. And if you're a new runner or if you're somebody sitting on the edge of your seat listening to us thinking, I can't do this, you can.
You can do it.
You absolutely can.
If you're looking for that positive motivation, there's plenty of folks that's going to they're going to be your biggest fan.
100%.
Everybody thinks that everybody's going to look at them if they're a new runner or if they're doing something new, that the person that's been doing it for this long is going to look down upon them. They're going to be the ones that are going to pick them up. They're going to be the ones that are going to, you're probably going to have all these crazy, hey, let me put you on this text thread. Let me invite you.
You're going to be annoyed at how much support you get.
What have I done?
What have I done? I've opened Pandora's box to a whole group of lunatics.
How much can this idiot talk about running? Nobody cares about shoes right now.
A year's worth of podcasts, apparently. 22 podcasts.
Say different.
Yes. Willow Window Studios.
Yes. Thank you.
Shout out. Express Footwear.
Shout out.
Sight and Sound Creative.
Sound Creative. Runner Dudes Coaching. Runner Dude, I don't even know what my thing is.
Yeah, it's okay.
Runner Dude Coaching. And you can hit me up on the Instagram or cell phone or come by the hospital coffee shop or wherever. And if you're interested in looking into some coaching, I can help you out. And then, of course, keep listening to the Runner Dudes podcast. Guys, yes, share it with your friends. YouTube, Spotify, all the places that all the things are. And just remember, you can do this. This is attainable. Mental, physical, spiritual health is within your grasp. And your best life is right in front of you. So just go get it, baby. Thanks for listening to whatever this was.
It was a spaghetti.
That was that. We were woo!
Well, we got excited about.
Yeah, we got a couple of things that got going.
For ourselves.
We're back. And we're back. And we're back.
The Runner Dudes podcast is sponsored by Express Footwear and Runner Dude Coaching and Consulting. Produced by Jimmy Thorpe at sightandsoundcreative.com.